There we go. I'm good now.
Now all I gotta do is fix my fucking
If you're
camera.
live, sorry. So I can hear you at least now.
Now I just gotta get the camera working right.
Oh, today, huh? Oh,
We'll go with this for now then.
wait a minute.
It's a camera view. What the hell?
I need to. Good morning, jerk offs. I need to find my. Jerk off. Way to fucking football here. I'm gonna have it right there. I'm not gonna look at your camera much.
Nikki's in there calling you out already. They're late.
Yeah. Somebody. Yeah. I appreciate it.
Morning, Ann. TWP Popcorn.
Good morning to everybody.
BCP Squirrels. Twisted Roots in the house.
Squirrels and Michigan native popcorn. Naughty Nick.
Up above.
Good morning, guys. Good morning. Go Airport Jets. We're going to our first scrimmage where pads are meeting pads with other jerseys. And we're pumped about it, dude.
Football's fun. Football's fun. I'm not allowed to do anything fun right now. Hell, not even physical therapy's fun anymore. I mean, it's not just kind of stretching anymore. It's starting to work that shoulder a little bit. I'm hurting today.
Pulling your little tight shoulder.
Yeah. She had me doing all kinds of like strengthening type things to really work that rotator cuff, and it didn't like it today. Well, then I mowed the lawn too, so I mean, anyway. The hippie in, what's up?
What's up, guys? So yeah, we're just chilling. So whatever we want to talk about, we can talk about today because I'm floating through life right now.
Floating through life. Well, you got to have a purpose, man. Then you don't float as much.
My purpose is to get to the football. To get to the scrimmage.
Your audio's getting jittier and jittier, man.
I don't know. I got a full service over here.
I think it's trying to take the background noise out and cutting you or something, maybe.
Hang on, I'm going to let Jody in here.
Uh-oh, Jody. Cushman's Dog and Fish TV. What's up, Cush?
What up, Cush? Oh, shit, Misfit. Sorry. I didn't see you, Twisted.
Oh, you're cool. What's wrong with Fatty?
Right?
Good morning, everybody.
All right, I'll be right back. I got to get Jody.
All right, cool.
I think that you can still hear me, though, now.
Yeah.
But what are you guys up to? How are you guys doing this morning?
I'm doing good. That's nice. What's that, Night Train?
That's some black cherry garlic.
Oh, wow.
And then I picked up some apple fritters.
Where the hell did you get that?
The Dime Stop here in Bay City, right across the street from the house.
That's what I figured. Yeah. That's an unusual name.
That's the apple fritter.
Yeah. Should have gave him all that stem back.
Right?
Be like, hey, man, your place was some smokable shit.
15 and 8 ain't bad.
Hell no, that ain't bad, dude.
Yeah, 15 and 8, 17 and 8, something like that over there, and pretty good dank buds.
That's how it breaks down.
Where you're supposed to be, bro. You're supposed to be upright, not on your back, bro.
Yeah.
I'm having my heart surgery later today, so.
Well, you'll be in my prayers for sure, then.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. Damn.
It went down at work a couple days ago and had another heart attack.
Wow.
That'd be good.
This
Yeah,
time
eat that garlic.
that was number 6.
Holy shit.
I thought I was killing myself.
All right. Is what it is. I'm used to it now. They hit me with some really good morphine a few minutes ago.
You sound it.
Relaxed.
About to hit myself with some good Kylo Ren here.
At least they're doing their job then.
Yeah.
Wrong one. This is the right one. We're almost out.
Oh, nice.
This is the fourth bag of Kylo Ren's almost empty.
It's a few good bong loads still.
Yeah.
Oh,
There's
don't
JoJo.
got out of the shower.
Yeah.
Joey's in the house.
What's going on? Where are you headed to?
See, Josh, this is all part of the plan, man. Just get the good-looking women on here. Now she's up here half naked and wet and all that.
That's the best way, right?
Right.
Where's the
Well,
half
actually-
naked women?
well, actually-
Liars.
Full naked, not half naked, is the best way. But I guess since I'm on camera,
Yeah.
I had to put a
Morning.
robe on.
You don't have to do anything, really.
Like,
Yeah, we get demonetized on here all the time.
Yeah.
like, go ahead.
What's up,
Hey.
Rich?
I think that skin is plenty enough clothes. Right?
Yeah. I mean, it's legal in Canada. Why can't it be in Michigan?
There's actually a couple nudist resorts in Michigan.
Yeah.
Well, we looked it up. There's actually no law that says you cannot be naked in public. They just don't want you groping and this and that. So it's acted upon, and then they got all this indecent exposure stuff to try to fight it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The law that says you can't be naked.
Well, like, it's like naked bodies don't have to be sexualized.
Right.
Like, I feel bad sometimes. I
Self-perspective.
really do. I feel bad for my kid because I'm constantly naked around here. Like, and I don't care. My neighbors the wives probably hate me. The husbands probably love it because I have like big kind of Bay Area open windows. My blinds are always open.
They always slow down when they're walking past.
And I'm literally, oh my God, I'm always running across there. I'm like, dude, I'm going to have a cop show up at my door one day knocking for indecent exposure.
Who's inside my
because they
home?
see
They
me
didn't
outside.
have to look.
No wonder the little neighbor kid's always riding his bike past here, just back and forth and back and forth.
Well, can I go ride my bike? It's 2:00 in the morning. What are you talking about?
Right?
I might
Maybe
see
like 2
something.
p.m.
Maybe she's doing the dishes.
Right?
Wow. What a treat. What a treat in your neighborhood.
What a treat. Hey, we're gonna drive past this house real quick. I pass it on my lunch every day from work, just because.
Hey.
I used to go a different way, and then I noticed something, and now I've just rerouted it. I mean, it's like a must-do thing. You know what I mean?
So I
Well,
got a
also-
confession. It's been a lifelong dream of mine to drive or walk by somebody's house and there be a naked woman in the window.
Did it. Been there, done that.
Newspaper delivery as a kid, man, like 7,
It's the way
8th
to
grade,
go.
something like that. We had to go collect our own fucking payments and whatnot. You'd be surprised at how people answer their doors. For a 14, 15-year-old kid, you're like, lady.
Well, I was kind of sitting here and I was on the phone with my grandma, and then I almost clicked the link to go live, and I was laying here naked. I was like, you should probably put something on. Like, but this robe, my family gave me shit for it because I bought it in Vegas, and I paid a little bit for it. You know what I mean?
Oh,
And my
yeah.
mom was talking garbage to me, but I was like, all right. I literally went down to the slot machines and lost the cost of this robe in
At
like
least they get to
15
keep the
minutes.
robe.
Yeah. And it's comfy as hell. And I look like a boss in it.
That's what I was thinking, like you're over at Hefner's place or whatever, chilling.
So I just have to say that I'm right there with you, JoJo. I have never been less nude in this house just because I have dogs and dog hair. Like I usually, when I lived alone and stuff, I was always like, that was just a way of life for me. It was a
We
way of
probably
life for
shouldn't
me.
do
And
this
I would
subject too
have
long.
to
Chris
double
is
check.
over there heart attack.
I would have to double check myself sometimes if I was like going on a live or something. I'm like, okay, let's make sure I'm all covered up here because I don't know. It's just too normal for me not to have clothes on.
Like sometimes I realize, like, when did I get naked? When did I take my clothes off? And then my kid is like, I'm like, don't look at me then.
Hippie used to always be barely dressed when she'd get on her live streams and shit.
He jokes still because like sometimes I'll still traipse around the house and he's like, hey, I guess our neighbors are having a good time today. I'm like, oh yeah, maybe they are.
Or you do like the walk by real quick.
Fucking charge admission, you'd have had a house by now. Just saying.
I just stopped all the
Yeah,
people
my
coming
first-
to the house. Like, you
I
guys
grew
ain't
up-
allowed to know for it.
$50, take a number.
I grew up in Washington State. I remember there was always this rumored nude beach, right? And all of us teenage boys, of course, wanted to go find the nude beach. And then we finally found it. And I hate to say it, it was a bunch of 55-year-old biker chicks down there, right? It wasn't exactly what we were signing up for.
Yep.
Island Lake down there in Pontiac area, Island Lake's got bare ass beach down there.
That's how new
Yeah.
Well,
people go to nude beach so bad. Nude beach, or not to go see hot naked people. A nude beach can be free and naked.
Exactly.
People you see are not going to be those hot, sexy people you're thinking of. You know what I mean?
No, but when you're a 16-year-old boy, you're not thinking about that, right?
Yeah.
look,
Like-
Nikki's in there. She's like, "Don't
Surprise.
touch me." She says, "My luck,
Now
I
that
have
I'm- now that
registered
I'm
for the next 10
47,
years."
Now that I'm 47, I've accepted reality, right?
I still haven't accepted reality, but
What is reality, though?
solid illusion.
I don't know, but I reject yours and substitute my own.
It's what we make it. That's my reality. It's what I perceive it as. What
My
up, Ray?
reality is big fatty. Going down.
If I wasn't laying strapped to this damn bed,
I don't want weed, man. You might have to start rolling smaller joints.
Oh, I got about 10 or so pounds left, man. I got fucking tons of weed, dude.
hey, but living proof the outlaw
It's
never
coming up
dies,
in another
right?
month and a half or so.
Right.
Here's living proof the outlaw doesn't die, even in the heart hospital, right?
There you go. Dude, when I went in there, when I had blood clots and whatnot, they actually confiscated my vape and all my lighters out of my fucking personal belongings. And put it on security at the hospital. They didn't want to take no chances.
You still got blood clots?
No, I cleared that. They said it's all clear and everything. I had like an X chromosome or some shit. And fucking, they said I'll probably never see blood clots again. It was a one-time type deal. Is what the
Okay, cool. There's plant-based medicine you can take.
That's a blessing right
they
there.
still got me on fucking thinners and shit though. So
Yeah. They got me on a full ride of thinners.
Yeah, I would try cannabis. A lot of people I've heard of doing the research have actually got off blood thinners from RSOs. I was like,
Yeah, I did.
I'm not
I did a
scientist
regimen.
at all, but
So
yeah,
I did a
I don't
regimen.
know how or why, but it's working.
I want to get my own place.
Here's a medical thing,
Grow all I
though.
want so that I can start doing my own.
Here's a medical thing, though, as a caregiver, and I can tell you from personal experience. I was real honest with them a couple heart surgeries ago, and when I went into to the OR, I told them, and it took them 3 times the amount of knocked out juice to put me down because it will. You need to be honest with your anesthesiologists. Don't care, but you got to be honest, or you will wake up.
Yep.
You know.
Yeah, that's what I tell them when they put me down. I'm like, listen, you're going to have to double dose me because I'm going to wake up right in the middle of that shit. And they're like, nah, you ain't. This shit's strong. I'm like, okay, cool, man.
Yeah,
Wake
he's
up
looking
right
at-
in the middle of surgery, dude, and end up hurting
Oh.
myself. Like, this is bullshit. Like, why didn't you listen to me?
Mine was really, my anesthesiologist was really cool, man. And it took him 10 units to put me down that time.
Wow.
Well, I
It looks like Josh got his earbuds in back there, Joshua. He's back there just kind of head bobbing, jamming away or something.
Oh, yeah.
They act like they're doctors or police officers, right? Or whatever. You need to just be on like about what drugs you're doing. People don't realize the effects that can happen if you know. For example,
Yeah,
like
for sure.
a retreat, right? That's what I'm trying to go to. They ask all these different things about like your health, and you can't go if you have certain things. So people will go, and it's like, dude, you're putting yourself in a situation you could die.
Yep. Yep. No, it's no joke. And most of the anesthesiologists I've talked to, they're pro that anyway. They're pro us anyways, right? And I mean, they much prefer that over opiates, and you know,
Absolutely.
and they don't care. They just want to know. You know?
It's just so they can do their job and don't have to worry about some malpractice.
Well, yeah, the last thing the anesthesiologist wants is you crashing on the table on them, you know?
Exactly. I was taught to never lie to two people in your life, and that's your lawyers and your doctors. Because those are the two people that one could kill you and one could put you away forever.
Yeah. Yeah. No, and they saw the benefits with me. I mean, I'm a cultivator, and they saw the benefits with me and the stress management, and you know, there was a definite difference, you know. But with my lungs, I did have to go down to a certain amount that I am allowed to have, right? Kind of like Subcool. Sub was here in AZ. I met him a few times.
No
And,
shit.
Oh yeah, he's a good guy, man. And well, I was working with getting rid of my overage to one of the dispensaries here, and I ran into him there a couple times. So, and he put out that notice on his podcast. If you remember, anybody with extra here in Arizona, get a hold of him.
That's so cool.
He was a good guy, you know, and it was him and his pulmonologist. I saw the same one, and his pulmonologist, he put him on a dab limit. You know, he was only allowed a certain amount of dabs per day, you know.
Edibles not work.
Edibles do, but they're kind of, you know, that's one that right there can really interfere if you're going in for surgery, because it hits your body differently, right?
Yeah, it metabolizes into your body weight.
Well, yeah, and it becomes a different form once your body, once you ingest it, right? It's not,
it goes
it's
through
not,
your body a different way. And everything.
Yeah, your heart slows down and shit, or speeds up. All kinds of different things happen.
well, and I make my own stuff. I have a magical butter maker and all that. And the problem is I can get real close. I've done it a long time. I can get real close on the dosage, but you're never quite sure, right? And there can always be that hot brownie.
Yeah, they do the ratio for that math is set up to a 17% THC, unless they changed it. But you know,
my stuff is tested way higher than that. So you know,
exactly. Exactly. That's what I'm like. I'm like, everyone that follows that math is how are you right?
we cracked 30 twice at the at one of the dispos, because they have to, when you bring it in, they test a sample and then they tell you if they're interested, right?
100%. Yes, they don't just say, yeah, let's sell your shit. They're like, give us sample products.
We're recreational up here, so
yeah,
you get those too, I'm sure.
And my family owns a big rec grow in Washington right now too. It's the same thing. Everything's tested, you know.
Yeah.
We were the number 3 licensed issued in Washington State when it went rec. My family was.
Oh yeah. My
aunt is the only all-female grow team in Washington right now.
No shit.
Yeah. And my aunt's the head gardener.
That's cool.
That's pretty bad.
She was an occupational therapist, and then all of us were end-of-life caregivers when it was still prohibition days, right? And so she just switched over right when it went rec. They bought a big barn and made 2 big runs, and then bought a mini storage unit and converted all the mini storages to indoor grow. Now you can't make a damn bit of money as a private small person there, really. You know, I mean, it's, you see they've had offers from the Chinese coming in from out of country. They've had offers, and they're buying up a lot of the grows.
I fucking knew it. I knew it. Dude. I've been talking about this for months.
Well, I can tell you on the inside of that industry, because they're still at Happy Valley Farms up in Bellingham, Washington. That's where I'm from. And they had 5 or 6 people that they know. They came in and bought their licenses and just trashed the license, right? And they just sit and they offload all the stuff real cheap. They're just they're buying out all the small guys right now. Is what a lot of them are doing.
Yeah. I would never sell. I would never sell as a small guy. People are thinking about right here and right now, I think, and not the future of it. You know, we got to stop all these people, man.
Well, and flour is going away. Like
Yeah.
at Happy Valley, 80% of the revenue is generated by concentrate now. And they tore out their drying rooms and they put in blast freezers, right?
Yeah, and that's certain markets, though. Well, I'm sorry, Jody, go ahead.
Oh, I just said that makes me sad because really, even though I take dabs, I like taking dabs.
Lex Volume 3.
I love having my rope right now. Like if I had a dirty in a joint, like boom. Thanks. I put flour at the end of the day. Like bud is the thing.
Yep, I'm with you. I mean, I'm in my late 40s now, and I mean it's just been all my life. It was smoking some good bud, you know. And it is a different medicine.
Time, and now I'm back to smoking buds.
For my serious heart pain, when that hits, yeah, dab, that hits on a much deeper level quick, but it's not as full. You know what I mean? It's almost like hollow.
Yeah.
That's a good way to explain it.
That is a perfect way to explain it.
Unless you're Rasta Jeff, you know, like I went to the DGC Cup a couple years back. Oh yeah, I was hitting. He nailed me with some lemon Jeffrey, I think it was, and about buckled my knees in the corner, man.
Yo, a lot of those strains out there. You're from the West Coast, East Coast over here. You know, a lot of those strains are us, bro. You know, because we don't have the capability to grow weed the way the West Coast does. You know, it just doesn't turn out the same. We're going to take the same strain, same exact cut. It will not turn out the same here. And
well, there's a lot of science. There's a lot of science behind that, brother. Like when I was allegedly in the trees when I was younger, right out in the clear cuts, it's the humidity, it's the soil. I mean, I'm pretty good indoors, but you can't beat Mother Nature.
No.
You know, you just, you know, still, if I have a choice between a 35% hitter somewhere or some Duke Diamond or something, and then there's a nice outdoor grow from somewhere, I'll take the outdoor.
Good man. That's the perception I'm trying to change. A lot of other dudes are too, but it's all that indoor versus outdoor. Indoors got the look, but outdoors got the power, dude.
Indoors,
if you're a true meditator, you're gonna be looking for power.
My boy White Point. I'll go over to San Diego.
Oh, you know White Point?
He's my personal brother, man. Like,
fuck yeah, White Point Genetics, man.
Oh, he's the man, dude. He and I are real close personal friends, and you know, I've been over there to see him a lot. And like when I go to a different state, man, I'll go and I want to taste that state. I'm not going to an indoor medical grow. I'm going to get the best of the outdoor grown that area has, and then I can taste that area. Right?
Fuck yeah. We went to an event with White Point. He's cool as fuck.
Mm-hmm.
He brought, what the fuck did he bring? Truffles, raspberry truffles.
Oh yeah. I was growing some of that. Yeah. He's good, man. I remember I took some of mine over and put about a 300-pound Samoan into the door frame when I had some dab out of it. He's a good dude, man. He's the best kind of people. Him and Ball for Life, we're all pretty close buddies. So.
Hell yeah. No shit.
Yeah, he was texting me this morning wishing me well and stuff. Ant Dog was. So. You know, they're good people, man.
Hell yeah.
What up, Scott?
No shit.
But like you were saying, man, when I grew up, and even the stuff now is different. Like, and everybody probably remember this. I remember when I was younger, man, you hit up, you're going to smell that 100 yards away 2 hours later, right?
Yep.
Just doesn't seem to be that way anymore.
Not today.
Hold on,
I'm trying to find the strains that will produce terps like that, bro. But it's like super, super fucking hard nowadays. It seems like everything's right here in this little bubble, and it doesn't seem to permeate. You know, I want that shit that's like, oh, that dude's got weed.
Huh?
That's all right. You can stand up.
Oh yeah, I'm on a live, so no.
Hell yeah.
Let's pick the cosplay.
No suppositories, not today. It's not for a heart patient, man.
I'm in vitals.
Vitals, yeah, vital signs, yeah. Is my nurse here, Ryan?
Stick that. Where to get my vitals?
No, man, we want the kind of just scan across.
Well, I had a
the
pretty bad bout of pain this morning, and so they sledgehammered me with some morphine. So got to watch my blood pressure because that makes your blood pressure drop. Morphine does.
Yeah, get you
Appreciate
constipated.
you, Neil.
Dude, every time they gave me morphine, I was like, what the fuck is this shit?
Hi,
This does nothing. Give me more. I need something else.
Rory said hi to everyone.
Hola,
Hello.
Rory.
Hi.
When I go to the hospital, they think I'm a drug addict. They're like, why isn't this medicine working for you? I'm like, I don't know, man. I smoke weed. I'm like, you need to give me something better, though. They're like, we need to drug test you first. I'm like, I smoke weed.
See, I'm kind of the opposite with the morphine. Like me, I don't like that complete loss of control, right? Like, I don't know, man. And then I get to be I'm pretty mellow mostly, but I'll become just an asshole after being in the hospital on it for a couple days, you know?
Yeah.
Usually that's what I feel like people that end up on morphine or pills or stuff like that, they kind of take that aura of an asshole.
It's the
Not
body.
always, but a lot of the times they come
Yeah.
off
Well, you
that
just
way.
get really irritable.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
the word.
I gotta
The way you
watch
feel
it.
all the
'Cause
time.
my old man died of my heart condition, right? My dad did. And he died homeless as a homeless veteran in Portland, Oregon. He died indigent, right?
Wow.
And it was that. He didn't take the green route. He took the opiate pain management route.
Wow.
We all know how that ends, right?
Yeah.
No. So I kind of watch and make sure I'm not.
Short.
That's what my dad took. Like, he got on like a bunch of Dilaudid and then on morphine and shit. And it was just really crazy, especially once they start morphine. They'll just watch decline start to happen.
No shit.
It was crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, his whole personality changed, you know, like he was a Marine, but he was a biker guy, and you know, he's a bandito, and he's a biker guy, and you know, he's a cool guy, and then all of a sudden it was almost like a light switch, maybe about 45 or 46, and it just took hold, you know.
Yeah, it's like you're like, yeah, I feel that too. It's like they're a different person completely almost. But I think because my dad's most important part was that he didn't want to like die and everybody remember him as being sick, because he was like really sick for 2 years and like fought and stuff, you know. And like you said, it does change your personality. Well, how can you not be moody, or you try to look at the positive but you can't help but be negative, you know what I mean? And
well, we got hit with it in Washington, like the meth when that hit and all that stuff. I mean, obviously we were processing in the trees, and the Seattle boys were coming to get it. Is the way that always went, right? And I watched my sister become not a mother, and she lost all 6 kids of hers to the state of Washington. Just lost all maternal instinct. So I'm
that
real
wild?
careful. Oh,
That's how you know it's got to be some powerful shit, right? Because if you watch nature and you watch,
that's
like you said,
Satan
just
right
the
there.
motherly, if they lose that, that's got to be some powerful shit, man.
Well,
There's
that's
something crazy going on for you not to have that motherly instinct anymore.
Well, whether or not you believe in good and evil, there is evil, and that shit is evil. I mean, it's
absolutely. But people think they're invincible sometimes, you know. So they're like, "Oh, I could try it one time and not get addicted. That wouldn't happen to me." Da, da, da. And it's like,
we just had to get my son. He's in his 23, and we just had to get him cleaned up off of that shit. He's still back in Washington, right? They had to get him cleaned up off of that and kind of fight.
I hope
there's super meth going around now.
Yeah, he's doing good. He went to a concert last night. He texted me Suicide Boys or something. He went and watched it in the Seattle area.
Like, that is the crazy thing too. People got to realize that once you go, you know, down that kind of rabbit hole, like, don't be too prideful or shameful to like come out of it, man. Like, you know what I mean? You still get second chances.
If they can. You know,
If
like
they,
I've seen
if it's not too far gone.
I've seen
There's
a lot
most-
of that, and it's almost like the person isn't there anymore. Even
Yeah.
when they're straight for a minute, it's like a piece of their soul is gone, you know?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
See, I think a lot of people go through your experimental phase. I call it my drug days. You know what I'm saying? But it's
Absolutely.
like, you know, some people got stuck. Some, like all my friends, they got
walked
stuck,
away.
bro.
There's also, I think, a point of like a midlife crisis kind of type thing where I think, you know, you've gone through your life, you've done your either your 9 to 5 or your mom or your dad, your upstanding citizen, your work, your this, your that, and at this point you're just like either you've had it or you're ready to do something. One of the cases, and people get stuck. And you're right, people get stuck in their drug days. People get stuck in, you know, and honestly, you know, I used to be really ashamed to admit it, but I realize now, you know, it's one of those things that I was able to get out of. I don't want to say pride myself, but I am so thankful that I don't have a hugely addictive personality, because when I was 19, I used to be, I would take meth a lot. You know, I was never, you know, I wasn't like on it consistently, but enough to know that I wanted the next fix, right? And I moved away from the entire state. I went from Denver to Illinois and literally just moved away from it completely. And that's what got me out of it, because I needed an entirely different situation and environment completely.
You're right on. You're right on. I'm a PTSD guy, and I've had to have EMDR and some therapy. And I ended a 15-year marriage a few months back, and a lot of that was her midlife crisis type of deal and wanting to party. And I asked my counselor, I said, you know, what's the deal? She goes, listen, if women have children young, she goes, a lot of times right about 40, it hits, because now I got robbed of my younger years, right? It's kind of subconsciously it kicks in.
That's exactly what happened with me. I had my baby boy when I was 20 years old. I was with my son's father for 15 years. I left him. He was abusive in his own way, you know, never physically, but everything else. But I left finally for the third time. It took 3 to 4 times of me leaving. But at that point, it was like I had about 3 years of just partying up. Like, my sister is 14 years my younger. So, you know, I partied it up with her and her friends, and for about 2 or 3 years, I lived a completely different life, you know, like that I'd ever been in before. Yeah. It's a thing.
My ex now was booze. And
I was about to say booze is the worst problem.
It was bad, man. Anybody who's followed my channels and stuff or knows me, I mean, she's a narcissist. She was diagnosed as that, actually, and she medicated with alcohol, and it went through to where she drank through, like, she was literally, it was so bad that my daughter got taken by the state and put in a foster home, right? And I'm fighting to get her back, and had to get rid of my grow as a result of that too, just to be above board. And I'm fighting through it, and she's sitting there. I'm not shitting you. This is how bad it was. She's sitting there. She's on a telehealth drug and alcohol counseling group, and she's still drunk, right? And she's offering to sponsor people in the group.
What the fuck?
I think alcohol is one of the worst problems for people in their 30 to 40s right now. Like, you know, like, I know
legal.
That's my number one struggles, or people have been doing it so long that now in our 30s and 40s, we're seeing a lot come down with like cirrhosis of the liver and shit, and liver problems, because
and that's
become
one of
a
the
natural accepted thing. So everywhere you go, there's drinking. Even at health events, I go to 5Ks and things like that. At the end, when you do, you get beers.
Yeah, craft beer and wine is so huge.
We don't drink,
dude. Yeah, I stopped drinking when I found out that I had cancer, and you know, it's a completely different lifestyle. But you're absolutely right. Like, my mom, I realize now, especially after living with my mom for a time before I moved here, how much of an alcoholic she is, and how much of an alcoholic she's been my entire fucking life. I learned to make her Bloody Marys when I was 10 years old. Okay.
Yeah.
That was my job. Make me a Bloody Mary. Okay, Ma. I was all proud of it because I knew what I was doing. Oh my fucking God.
But, right? Yeah. You're
Well, I
like,
went through it in my
"Yay."
20s. Like my dad was a bandito, right? So I mean, I grew up around the boys, and everybody's drinking
Yep.
hard. But then it was,
That's my
hey, listen,
childhood.
it's costing me too much. I'm gonna go back to smoking.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Like I keep thinking about because I drink more than I would like to admit because it's just like it takes a lot to get me fucked up anymore because I have been drinking since I was 19 years old. You
That's
know
if
what I
you're
mean?
smoking.
Same. And my
And
kid said, "Can you quit?"
yeah, I can
And
quit. But then, well,
I
then
was
I've been
done.
thinking, I'm like, dude, you should do this 90-day challenge and stop drinking for 90 days. And then I'm like, no, because every once in a while, I don't get fucked up anymore. Like once in a while, like on the weekends maybe, but I just like a dirty martini sometimes to take the edge off. You know what I mean?
Dirty.
And if I
Well, there's
deserve
a
that with my
there's
joint, then I'm
cannabis.
not going to deny myself of that if I'm doing really well. But I also think if you can't do 90 days without a single drink, you don't need that dirty martini to take the edge off.
Maybe on New Year's I
You
might
got to
have a
watch
beer
out. Make sure
or
you
with a
don't.
steak.
It's like the
Maybe.
old. We went to Lollapalooza a couple
Cheers.
times, and we'd go there and we'd make sure we smoked up beforehand because then it takes you 3 times as much to get fucked up, right?
Right.
You just keep drinking all night long, right? Yeah.
Right. Or you go, you do it, you don't do it for 90 days, and then boom, once you can again, you just binge.
Yeah.
Well, and
Go on a
everybody.
bender.
I mean, I'm full-time grower and smoker, so I mean, it would be points in there where I'd have to take a tolerance break because you're not getting lit anymore. It's just your new reality, right?
Yeah, exactly. It is.
You get to the point where
Yeah. Yes. Yesterday I sat all day smoking I smoked I think 4 or 5 different strains
Stand up.
sat there without being stoned. I was like, what the fuck, man? Like I'm trying like Kylo Ren's usually the go-to, you smoke everything else and nothing's getting you there. You smoke the Kylo Ren, you're like, oh yeah, baby, there you are. I like to be like that. Too many of those puts her in the bed. She's like, I'm going to sleep.
I'll tell you,
I'm running out of the Kylo Ren, so I'm forced to like look at other things like Sunset Sherbert. That's crap. Black Line Bubba. That's crap.
I'll tell
Like
you,
I got all these drinks that
a
suck.
classic.
It's a little too strong.
A classic you got to bring back, and it's my grow specialty. Is I went down and I had a boy allegedly go down to the Oaxaca region and get me Landrace Acapulco Gold.
Oh, dude, I wish.
It had been grown by the same family for 5 generations, so it was legit, right? And that shit tested at 33% when I and that's a sledgehammer. I mean, it's sitting there watching TV, just it's kind of funny because it's more psychoactive than anything you'd ever imagine, right? I mean,
it's all heady.
Thanks, man.
It's all real heady.
Oh yeah, that was the stuff that put that 300-pound Samoan into the door frame at White Points, right? What's that, man?
Fuck yeah, man. Yeah, I wish I could get a hold of that.
All about that tolerance.
A
You
couple
were talking about tolerance. Like you can't just walk up and hit a strain like that and think, I can do this. You gotta have tolerance.
Oh no, you gotta have tolerance. Like them dudes in California, like I watch Burner and Kid Smoke and all these Cali boys, and I'm like watching them. I'm like, I couldn't even sit there. I always think about if I was sitting there showing them my shit, like, but if I was there smoking that shit that they have, I'd fall the fuck off my chair, dude. I'll be an embarrassment because I don't smoke that kind of weed. Yeah, I smoke my weed, tons of it. But I'm not.
I was at home.
Ride it out a little while.
I was at home with my heart, and I couldn't work nothing. And so all I would do is wake up, and I'd wake up in the morning, and I'd hit a nice dab, and then it was constant all day long for years, right? So you do get to the point where you can't get lit anymore, really.
Yeah, it's like.
Yeah, it's kind of nice.
I feel like that sometimes. Like I do. I feel like
I get lit off new shit.
Yes, I do, definitely. But sometimes I'll like smoke. It varies on the day. It really does. Sometimes I'll smoke a couple of joints in the morning, and if it's Kylo Ren or anything that'll just like put me in just fucking focus that isn't my body's not going anywhere. But a lot of times, about an hour after that, it doesn't matter how much I smoke. I still feel kind of the same all day.
Yeah,
you know, it's like this like base.
You're just paying for upkeep
that I acquire, and then I don't really feel any higher until I'm ready to go to bed.
And
Well, it's like
Oh.
I'm the
truthfully,
agency.
what that is also is that we continuously smoke the same kind of weed. I don't try to change it up because I will get rocked. I got some indicas that will I go right to bed, dude. I'm going, yeah, sorry. Gotta go
See,
lay
as a
down.
caregiver, it would be a lot of times with patients and stuff. You know, you'd have to kind of guide them on how to medicate properly. And I would go daytime runner where all my sativa ladies, right? And then at nighttime, boom, I got some couch lock stuff. You know,
Yeah.
like I went with Ethos Genetics on a couple.
Oh.
And like Purple Magic, for example, was a real good one. And that would cherry Purple Magic, and that would put you right to sleep, dude.
Oh, JoJo.
But no, you're right.
No,
On
he put clothes on.
Hell yeah.
I have to listen, if I don't put a bra on, then I'm not going to be in gotta get shit done mode. So as soon as the bra comes on, stuff is starting to happen because I got dishes to do, a fridge to clean
You're
out.
in let
I
it
got
hang
list of
mode.
shit today.
People in
Right.
chat are ready for a JoJo session, you know.
My grandma's
Oh,
coming
yeah,
over at 1
yeah.
o'clock, so I got to get my house in
You guys
tip-top
know that
shape.
shit too much. Yeah.
it is the
Good
law of
point, though. You
diminishing
gotta be like-
returns, though, bro.
you gotta put
A medical fact, it is. I mean, like Guru on the Dude Show, we were all chatting about it, and it is the law of diminishing returns at some point, right? That's the way tolerance works, you know. I mean, sooner or later, you smoke enough, it ain't gonna do anything to you. You know?
Yep.
The worst.
Your chat rocks. Josh.
Yeah, the worst was they thought I had cancer, and I went through a Rick Simpson oil regimen, an actual one. And let me tell you, you cannot get lit right going through a RSO regimen at the end of that month. Oh no, man! I mean, you're levitating, you're floating. You know?
Yeah.
Yep. My family freaked out, and they burned down about 2 pounds of grade A flour into RSO for me. And I was popping those syringes, man, like candy, dude.
Yep. Here's the thing. So I pill mine for her and for other patients that I have. So I use the 0.625 or something like that. Well, when you were dosing, I know you're supposed to take like a 0.1 or something like that, but how much were you dosing in each dose?
Oh shit, dude! I had like 2 milligrams of that shit. Like I had I think they were 2.5 syringes that they made for me, the little droppers, and I started out. Oh yeah, in the morning, boom, sledgehammer, and then when that wore off towards the evening, another sledgehammer. So I was doing probably 5 milligrams a day, easy.
Oh, really?
Straight RSO oil. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know how many thousands of milligrams of THC that is, but it's pretty high.
No, tons. That's what I tell people to take 2 if you're in advanced stage cancer. I tell people to take 4 of the pills.
Don't buy it from the dispo either. If anybody's watching this, the little dirty known secret in the industry is they're not taking grade A flour usually. They're taking trim and other stuff and pressing it down and extracting off of that. Right? If you think you have cancer, you go to a caregiver, somebody, and you have them take good flour and make it out of that. Right?
Yeah.
A lot of times
Or
they
make
won't.
it yourself. It's not easy.
Huh?
If you can know how to do it and you can make it yourself, that's the best route to go because you can.
We did it with mine.
Full spectrum.
Yeah, with mine we did a alcohol extraction, Everclear, and then we used their commercial evac ovens, right?
Okay, cool.
To dry it down.
That's very nice.
It was, and it lasted forever. Like I had some left. A year later, I still had extra syringes, and it stores really well.
Oh, it stores forever, bro. I just keep mine in the fridge. Yep. It stays in a mason jar too in the cupboard. But what it is too, when I make them in the pill form. So if it's too hot and I put them together too quick, they fucking just explode and go everywhere. It's fucking crazy. If you set them on a plane with pressure, they'll open up.
My aunt cured her skin cancer with that, which the original Rick Simpson, if you study him, his original thing was for skin cancer. And she had some on her face and put it on a Band-Aid, and it cured the skin cancer.
Yep. I was trying it here on my face. I got punched in the face a million times. I had this exposed nerve. So I never kept up with it, but when I went to the doctor, they said it was precancerous and burning off my face. So I was like, oh, that's cool. So
Yeah.
that's always the other option is cryo freeze.
Wow.
Well, and what I would do for my patients that came in, because I was, I had 6 patients was what I was allowed each caregiver card here in Arizona. And what I would do for them too is they're like, well, how do I do this at work? Or, I can't be. I said, listen, put this stuff on a nice big square bandage, or you can take the old nicotine patches, the old ones, and you can put that on there, and boom, you get it's not a big hit, but you get a low dose throughout the day, because it absorbs through your skin.
Yeah, dude. That's a couple of my patients. They can't do the RSOs. They're like, I get way too fucking high. And I'm like, but you don't have anything else to do all day but sit there with cancer. I'm like, sit there and cure your cancer.
Have them do the Band-Aid, because it doesn't hit you like it would when you're taking it orally, right? It's more of a time release type of low dose deal, right?
Yeah, no, these people are totally. They're smokers, but like they're not trying to try shit, dude. They're going to the doctor to get under the knife type of thing. They're, they came to me as the what does this do kind of thing. I know you do this. What does it do? Well, let me try it. Oh, I got too fucked up. Nope, forget it. I'm not doing that ever again.
It's like they're really not. They're not really serious about doing it naturally. Like the idea is cool, but going through it is a different.
Here's the thing to bash on our stoner or the weed crowd a little bit is that's kind of some of our responsibility too, because I've been doing this a long time, so it's my responsibility. Hey, look, if I get somebody new that comes in, I'm not going to go have them take a whole edible and just go home. They're going to get so messed up that they're going to blame the product, right? And then that gives us a bad name in the industry, right? Like having somebody eat 500 milligram brownie and then they blame the brownie. No, listen, you just OD'd. That's all you did.
Exactly. You have to start them off slow. And that's what the RSO, the smallest pill that I could make that I found that I have actually is the 0.625. That's why I was asking. Some people will get the 1 to 2 milliliter syringes, and they'll take a 0.01 and just. And that'll be their
dose. No, it was down the hatch, bro.
Yeah.
Plunge her down, right?
Yeah.
But hey,
that's what I was saying. That's the only other way I would be able to give it out to people to where they could have less of a dose than the 0.625. That's what I mean. Some people just aren't willing to be that fucking high. And if you never took an RSO, anybody out there, this is why it's a sketch
different
drug.
You'll see Jesus. I'm not kidding.
Oh,
it becomes it's literally kind of like a spiritual experience when you go way up on that stuff.
Just gotta ride it out, man.
Yeah, I like to make brownies to that level, bro. Like you eat a brownie and people
I like big brownies, and I will not lie.
I'm like, no, ride this shit out, man. Have a good time. Don't think bad.
Hey, I got one for you on the brownies, dude. I was running some weed maps with a buddy, and I was going down to Tucson area, right? And I wanted to make a name, right? Because you got to make an impact, right? Running the weed map, you got to, and down there, it's a lot of Hispanic culture. God bless them. I was married to the lady.
They break their shit.
I made one, dude. It was so bad, I called it the El Jefe. And it was literally, I figured it out. We figured out just loosely based on a 25 percentage that it was 1,000 milligrams. And then there was a half of one of those syringes of RSO on each piece of that thing.
Wow.
It was the Jefe. I'm okay. No, it was bad. We had a friend's dog who got into half of the brownie.
Oh my God.
Oh, she was dude. It was terrible. This little dog was eating the steak off my table in front of me at one point. It was a rude little dog, right? Well, and this lady was she was bitching. She was like, "You didn't save me any of these." And I looked at my boy and he's like, "Just go give her one." I'm like, "All right, man." So I gave her one. I said, "Hey, listen, take this easy. This is at least 1,000 milligrams and it might be way north of that. We're not sure. So take a little bit. Oh, give me that damn thing. Shut up and give me that. She was one of those, And I wake up in the middle of the night, dude, and this little pug is staring at me on my chest, just staring at me. And then it falls straight sideways off of me onto the floor and it's twitching, dude. It was twitching. And for and living proof that it can't kill anybody, this dog had to have eaten 500 milligrams at least. It ate half the brownie that was left, right?
We coma.
Oh, dude, for 3 days that thing would walk and it would twitch. That like it looked like one of those little horse things back in the days where two people get under and it was like a fake horse. Its ass end was going one way and its front end was
up in Debo chicken coop.
And shit.
Holy shit.
Well, here's the fucked up part. She had drank half a bottle of wine beforehand, and then she gobbled up half that brownie. In the middle of the night, I hear him. He's putting her in the shower. She's puking on her. She was fucked up. Dude. It was bad. I laughed about it, but yeah, it's living proof it can't kill you. I honestly think that the cannabis,
You may feel like you're dying.
well, I think the cannabis and the brownie save the dog's life because chocolate is toxic for dogs.
Yeah.
But cannabis reduces inflammation.
Reverse itself.
Yeah, that shit's wild, man. That's like Attila when he gobbled up my brownies I had sitting out. Dude. He was pissing all over himself and shit. I'm like, what the fuck, dude?
You know your dog's a stoner, bro. Come on.
That was awesome. I don't know. My dogs always liked my trim when I'd be having my trim when I was in trim jail. They'd be sitting there eating the leaves, and I've got pictures I think on Instagram of my service dog, and she would sit there. She would just chew away at the branches. You know, she loved that shit.
Oh, probably. I bet.
God help you if you had flour down, an ounce would be gone in a second. You know.
They eat it all.
Attila used to do that. He would go to the trees and rip a fucking branch off and bring it to me. And I'm like, no, you can't do this. Oh, no. So we had to teach him pretty young not to be doing that. Now he won't fuck with cannabis. He'll wait, like when you're trimming and shit, he wants that stem. If you got a thick fucking it all up, dude.
I trained my service girl, though. She had a bed in my flower room, and I did a streaming show in the morning, Cushion Coffee, and Ivory Genetics, and a few others for a while. And she'd sit in the corner, dude. She knew better than to go into there. I had an indoor flood tray, right, all across the floor, a pond. And she knew better than to go into any of those areas, and she would just sit there. But she would look at me. She'd charge her tax. I'd have to cut her a leaf or something here and there and throw it her direction.
Hell yeah. I always try to get my dogs to smell my shit. I'm like, here, smell this. And normally they're like, but sometimes they're like, I'm like, oh, that's a good one, is it? Okay, cool. Put that to the side.
Hey, I'm telling you,
you know what I mean?
I don't know if you guys use CBD for your pets, but my little service girl, I got her from a service breeder. And when I got her, she had her shots, but I took her to Seal Beach, actually, with White Point over there in San Diego area. And she got a resistant form of parvo that went right through the vaccinations.
Oh, wow.
And she was pretty young. And I gave her the CBD. And it reduced it made sure that she puked, but it didn't come out as diarrhea, and she lived through it, dude. I mean, I had to IV her. I had to camel hump her myself on the floor, right, and take care of her. But that was probably the only reason she lived, is it soothed her stomach enough, the CBD did.
Yeah.
She got through it, right?
Yep. Everywhere I go, anytime anyone talks about their dog having hip problems, this problem, that problem, right? I always am in chat going, CBD for dogs. Your dog will save your dog's life, and your dog will live longer.
Dad asked, my sister has American Bulldogs, and her one has hip dysplasia, right? One day she's like freaking out because these are her babies, and she don't have kids. She's got her 2 dogs. And
CBD
he's like
dogs.
acting weird. He won't get off the fucking bed. He will not move off the bed. And usually, even for like a treat, he would move to get it. You know, he wouldn't even scooch to get it. But she had CBD treats for him. And I gave him 2 of these treats. And literally within 20, 30 minutes, this dog was down. I could not get him off the bed for shit. I was kind of worried that something was seriously wrong with him. Like, he's down off the bed now, running around like nothing just happened. Like, none of that just happened. And I'm like, you have us freaking out that you're literally, but the CBD,
I met the Farmhouse Hemp boys at the DGC Cup in Denver, right? And these two guys that is like the purest strain form of CBD. I mean, they make an excellent one. And my daughter's cat, we got her as a special needs cat. We adopted her from the animal hospital, and she had cancer. And we came in one morning, and her whole eye globes were filled with blood. Right?
Wow.
Like we have pictures of this, and I did an article on it actually on DGC, but we had it had all filled, and they told us, they said, you got till Monday to say goodbye to your cat, over the weekend. And I went nuclear bomb CBD dose on her. I mean, I
You're
hit
gonna die
her
anyway.
with a firebomb, and by Monday, the blood had retreated back into the globes, back into the brain, and she lived another 6 months before we finally had to put her down.
Damn.
Isn't that amazing? No, there's not an explanation. Like, we don't know why the fuck this shit works. It just fucking works.
And that animal hospital was not pro that at all. But once they saw that, they asked me what I did, and they started carrying that at the animal hospital, the farmhouse.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, yeah, they
Dude,
did.
it's
They
insane.
grabbed her. When I brought her back in that Monday, they couldn't believe it. They grabbed her, the vet did, and they ran to the back because it was their office kitty, because nobody would adopt a special needs kitty. And so they ran her back. They said, look at her, look at Ava, look, can you believe this? And they started carrying it at that animal hospital after that.
That's cool, man. Congrats.
That's awesome. Now that's a win.
That's a win right there, right? That is.
That's what I tell everybody, CBD. And that's what's just weird, though, is that it cures so many things in animals and humans that, we can't even explain yet because they're not testing it fully. But it just does. It's written that that's what they used back thousands of years ago to cure people, man, for every fucking thing. Like,
here's the danger. Here's the danger, though. Remember when it first came out, and hey, it'll cure. It would cure everything. It was WD. No, it won't. If you know what it is and what it does, it's basically an anti-inflammatory, right? But you would see people, it cures cancer. No, it doesn't. I mean, the RSO regimen was high THC, right?
Yeah.
CBD doesn't, but I went to a smoke shop, and there was this kid there trying to pawn this off on somebody, saying, yeah, this is RSO and it's going to cure cancer. I'm like, what are you doing to this person? Right.
Right.
So within reason, yeah, CBD works on a lot of things, but there are things that the THC works on that the CBD won't.
I would never ever tell someone this is going to cure you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, maybe it's going to help you, or it's going to slow progression, but cure, that's kind of.
It matches your cannabinoid system to suppress whatever the fuck is happening.
Hey, you guys got to say hi to Amy here.
Yeah, RSO actually will cure.
Oh, man, well, you get better, girl.
The shower.
It kills the cancer cells that are in your body. And I think what it is, though, is a combination of the cannabinoids, the THC, the CBD. It's like a mixture of all of it.
I just got this.
Is what I think.
It's helping.
But that's where the testing in the future is going to come down to play.
Hey, Mrs.
All these scientists with the research and development license, and we can really figure out what is what. Because, the ancients, they didn't write why it cured. They just said, use this plant to cure this. Use this plant to cure that. Mix it in this proportion and make this potion and drink it, and you're cured. That's all they said. They didn't tell you what it did in your brain to each cell. Why does it tickle this chromosome?
Hey, I'm going to embarrass her. This woman waited for me for 20 years. We knew each other in Washington, right? Waited for me to not be a knothead anymore. Say hi, babe.
Was it worth it?
Was it worth it?
I don't know yet. She's still trying to figure it out.
Keeps me in line.
There you go.
Yeah, no, she's here, and she just waited for me to get rational and get out of the terrible situation I was in for 15 years, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is nice coming to the heart hospital this time and not having somebody tell you they wish you would die so they could collect your life insurance money. That's sure a change.
Right. Listen, I got to get out of here, you guys, because my phone's got 7%.
Oh,
So
Me
you
too,
guys
because
have
I
a
got to
great
get
day.
geared up
Take
for
care of the
surgery.
chat,
So
I'm gonna
seriously.
smoke
So
one
I'll
more
see you
myself.
guys tomorrow.
Pop out.
I
All
got to
right,
dip
man.
too. I got to get ready for surgery, so I got to dip
Hey,
too.
good
But
Yeah.
luck, man.
Yeah, cheers to
thank
that.
you guys. You helped take my mind
I
off of
smoke for you,
things
man.
today.
Yes, absolutely. Goodbye
That's
to you,
super cool.
darling.
Good talking to you, bro.
Yeah, you guys helped take my mind off of
welcome.
things, so thank you.
Yeah.
That's super cool. You're welcome.
All right, see you guys on another session.
See you on the other side, bro.
Yeah.
We just smoke
That's
again.
it, man. I'm gonna be dreaming in a minute here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You are indeed.
See
Yeah.
you guys later.
Bye.
Us.
Yeah. Whoa.
Whoa.
It's
I
that
smoke
time.
for you, man.
Woo woo.
Great job, guys. Great job.
We hold
Great
it down.
talking today.
Great conversation.
Indeed.
Yeah.
We didn't get all conspiracy twisted, but you know what I mean. That was still good talking today.
Morning, Kimberly.
Good morning, everybody. Well, it's that time. I gotta get out of here. We're almost to the scrimmage.
Time for football.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Time
You're
for
going to a scrimmage?
football.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Sign me up.
That
All
is
right.
awesome.
Peace out, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Peace out. Good morning, everybody.